The film begins with a girl named Ashley walking along a long road through dense forests. The place is eerily quiet, with no one around, as if the road is completely cut off from the world. Her face shows heavy worry and clear tension. We soon learn that she's going to meet her husband Max after he's been released from prison. He spent a full year behind bars for a murder case, and since then, their lives have changed completely. Ashley reaches him with a cold expression, clearly unable to stand him. Her eyes are filled with anger and blame because she can't forget the crime he committed. Even being there with him feels forced, not a choice. Yet she has no one else, and he has no one but her, so she feels obligated to continue this journey with him despite everything between them. As soon as Max gets into the car, he quietly greets her. His voice carries sadness and exhaustion. It's obvious he left prison emotionally broken, not the same person who went in. He looks overwhelmed, his eyes full of guilt, but Ashley can't bring herself to sympathize. They drive in heavy silence, occasionally glancing at each other without speaking, as if even words have become difficult between them. After a while, Ashley stops at a gas station to refuel, while Max heads into the small convenience store nearby. Inside, he notices a police officer talking to the clerk, asking about a missing person and showing his photo. Strangely, the clerk responds with unusual calm, as if this situation is normal and happens often. The clerk begins to say something even stranger. He claims that many people have been disappearing mysteriously lately, and the reason isn't ordinary humans, but strange creatures living in the forest. He explains that these creatures had been buried underground for years, but someone managed to release them, and since then they've been appearing and attacking people. He continues speaking with complete conviction, mentioning an old local legend that talks about the same thing. According to the story, these creatures will appear one day and start hunting humans one by one until none are left. The officer, of course, doesn't believe any of this and treats it as nonsense or superstition, then continues his work normally. Max grabs a few items and leaves. Before the officer goes, he tells the clerk to call him immediately if he notices anything suspicious. The officer then posts the missing person's photo outside, but the shocking part is that the entire wall is covered with pictures of missing people. There are so many that it's frightening, as if disappearances have become a daily occurrence and no one knows the real reason. Max returns to Ashley, but as he approaches, he's surprised by a group of suspicious-looking young men. They appear to be thugs used to hanging around isolated places like this. They start harassing Ashley in a provocative way, trying to get close to her uncomfortably. Worse, they recognize Max and have heard about what he did. They insult him and provoke him, calling him a criminal used to killing. The words hit him hard, especially since he's already coming out of a difficult experience and can't handle more pressure. He tries to defend Ashley, but he's hesitant and lacks confidence, as if the past still controls him. Eventually, they get back into the car and leave before things escalate further. However, the tension between them grows. After a while, Max begins drinking heavily while driving, which angers Ashley. She believes what happened to him should have made him quit drinking completely. Their discussion turned into a heated argument. Each of them releases what they've been holding inside. Ashley reminds him that the crime he committed happened while he was drunk and unaware, and that he could repeat the same mistake. Max tries to justify himself and avoid confrontation, but it's clear he's losing control. Distracted by their fight and not paying attention to the road, they suddenly hit a man standing ahead of them. The impact is violent, and a terrifying silence fills the car for a few moments. They can't process what just happened. Ashley pulls the car over, both of them terrified, afraid to step out or even approach the man. They remain sitting inside the car for a while, exchanging fearful glances. After a few minutes of hesitation, they gather the courage to step out and see what happened. But deep down, they feel that what's coming won't be normal at all, and that this accident might be the beginning of something far worse than they could ever imagine.
They step out of the car, and after a moment of hesitation, both of them gather the courage to get closer. They find the man in very bad condition. Ashley panics, while Max becomes terrified because he has just been released from prison and doesn't want to go back again. Ashley insists they must call the police immediately, but Max tries to stop her in every possible way. Their argument grows, each convinced they're right. In the end, Ashley calls and reports the accident. Max stands there nervously, expecting the police to arrive at any moment. Suddenly, while they're standing there, they sense movement coming from between the trees, something large shifting in the darkness. Before they understand what's happening, stones start being thrown at them from every direction. Max grabs Ashley, and they hide behind the car, assuming it's just a group of kids. But the moment he raises his head, a heavy rock hits him hard, knocking him away. He slips down a slope and falls into the water. Ashley panics, especially when she sees him drowning and unconscious. Even though she isn't a good swimmer, she immediately jumps in after him to save him. The current is extremely strong, pulling both of them away, and the water is freezing cold, making it hard for her to endure. Eventually, she manages to drag him to the shore and tries to revive him until he regains consciousness. For a moment, they feel like they're finally safe. But the intense cold exhausts them, and they begin to show signs of fever. At the same time, the accident site becomes completely silent. Suddenly, a massive, terrifying creature, clearly not human, appears. It drags the car and throws it into the river, destroying it. Then it takes the injured man's body and disappears into the forest. At that moment, it becomes clear that this isn't just a legend. There really are strange creatures hunting humans. Ashley helps Max move away from the river, and they sit somewhere to rest. Their clothes are soaked, and they're shivering from the cold. She lights a fire using Max's lighter so they can warm up and try to dry their clothes. It's the first time they sit together calmly since his release from prison, and they begin to feel a small sense of safety. Meanwhile, the police officer, while driving back, encounters a crying woman asking for help. She tells him her husband has been missing for some time and begs him to search for him and find out what happened. We learn that her husband is one of the people who disappeared in the forest the same way. The officer tries to calm her and promises he'll do everything he can to find him and uncover the mystery behind the disappearances. Then he leaves to continue his work. At the same time, Ashley and Max realize they're lost in a strange area and have no idea how to get out. They agree to stay together no matter what until they find a way to survive. Max promises her he'll change himself and quit drinking completely if they make it out alive. The officer begins asking his partner about the legend he heard. His partner says he doesn't like superstition, but believes strange things could actually exist. They decide to continue the investigation to uncover the truth. Suddenly, a female officer enters and informs them that a woman called reporting an accident in the forest. They realize it's Ashley's call, so the officer takes his team and heads to the location immediately. There, they find traces of the car near the river, but the vehicle itself is gone. After searching, they discover it thrown into the water. They pull it out with difficulty and search inside, finding photos of Ashley and Max, so they begin gathering information about them. Meanwhile, Ashley and Max try to warm themselves however they can, because the weather is extremely cold. They attempt to find a way out of the forest, but they're shocked to discover Ashley's clothes have disappeared. Max is forced to give her some of his clothes to keep her warm. They walk together, growing more frightened with each step, feeling like they might remain lost forever. Unnoticed by them, a huge and terrifying creature watches from a distance. It looks like a mix between a human and a beast, with the ability to camouflage itself and blend into the environment like a chameleon, waiting for the right moment to attack. Suddenly, they hear gunshots nearby. They decide to head toward the sound, hoping to find someone who can help them, but they discover it's the same group of young men who harassed them earlier. Terrified, they hide and observe them for a while. With no other option, Max decides to ask them for help and tells Ashley to stay hidden while he goes to speak with them.
Max desperately begs them to help him get out of the forest, or at least lend him a phone to call the police. Instead, they take advantage of the situation, mocking and humiliating him in a provoking way. None of them notices Ashley hiding nearby, because to them she would be an easy target if they spotted her. One of them tells Max there's no signal at all in this area, making it impossible to contact anyone. He says he has a radio he can use to communicate, but still refuses to give it to him, continuing to insult him. None of them agrees to help or even point him toward an exit, as if they're enjoying his suffering. At that moment, the terrifying creature appears behind Ashley. Tension rises, and it seems like the perfect moment for something to happen. Suddenly, one of the men is struck by an arrow and dies instantly in front of them. Panic spreads among the group. They grab their weapons and start searching for whoever did it. Meanwhile, Max and Ashley run away and hide, completely confused about what's happening. One of the hunters spots movement between the trees and, terrified, starts firing randomly. The problem is that the creature can vanish and no one can actually see it. In the chaos, one of them accidentally shoots his own friend and kills him. At the same time, Max is also hit and loses consciousness, while Ashley desperately tries to wake him. After a while, their ammunition runs out. The creature appears in front of them and kills the last man, leaving only the leader alive. Suddenly, the creature notices Ashley and begins chasing her. She runs with all her strength, trying to hide. She finds one of the hunters hiding as well. They both remain silent, but the creature appears, drags the man away, and kills him. Ashley uses the moment to escape, but the creature keeps chasing her and shoots an arrow into her leg. She falls to the ground, unable to move. Strangely, when it approaches her, it doesn't kill her. Instead, it leaves her and goes to Max, dragging him away. Suddenly, the leader appears and attacks the creature, injuring its shoulder. The creature turns on him and kills him, then takes both Max and Ashley to an unknown place. At the same time, the police officer goes to a woman who reported strange rituals being performed by a tribe in a certain area. He decides to observe quietly and see what's happening. Back in the forest, Max is still unconscious when a very strange woman appears before him. She looks terrifying, like a witch, with a deformed body and long nails. She takes him to her hut deep in the forest. Inside the hut, the place is filled with herbs, animal parts, and strange ritual objects. Surprisingly, she doesn't harm him. Instead, she tries to heal him, removing the bullet from his body and using herbs to treat his wounds. This raises many questions. Who is she? Why is she helping him? And does she have any connection to the mysterious creature hunting them? After a while, something even stranger happens. The creature appears again, but doesn't attack her. It approaches calmly, takes a lock of her hair, and disappears quick. Ashley becomes terrified, runs, and hides behind Max. At that moment, the thugs notice her and react with disturbing excitement, staring at her and talking about her in a very inappropriate way. Suddenly, their leader stops them and decides to help Max and Ashley reach the main road. He even gives them clothes to wear. They agree immediately and follow them deeper into the forest. Meanwhile, the police officer receives a report confirming that the car didn't fall into the river on its own. It was pushed by a powerful force, and the fingerprints found on it don't match any known human. This makes him start suspecting that something strange is truly happening in the forest, but he decides to continue his investigation and search for the truth himself. Back in the forest, Max and Ashley walk with the hunters. The leader keeps provoking them with his words, and Max struggles to control himself because the men are armed and could kill them at any moment. All he wants is to get out of this place as quickly as possible. After a while, two of the hunters split off to hunt. Suddenly, one of them hears a strange sound. When he looks, he sees a shadow between the trees. Before he can warn his partner, an arrow pierces his neck, killing him within seconds. His companion freezes in shock, and before he can escape, the creature appears and brutally kills him as well. Minutes later, a third hunter comes looking for them, but finds no trace. He grows worried and calls out to them, but there's no response, because the creature has already taken the bodies. Suddenly, he hears sounds around him, panics and tries to run, but he falls and gets injured. Unable to stand from the pain, he starts screaming. In the next moment, the creature appears and kills him too, then hides his body. Meanwhile, the rest of the group remains unaware of the danger surrounding them, but Max reaches his breaking point due to the leader's constant insults toward him and Ashley. In a burst of anger, he shouts at him and demands that he stay away from his wife. The other hunters immediately see this as the perfect opportunity to get rid of Max.
At the moment when everyone was on edge, it seemed like the perfect time to finish Max off. Suddenly, one of them is struck by an arrow and dies right in front of the group. Panic takes over. They grab their weapons and start searching for whoever did it, while Max and Ashley run and hide far away, unsure of what's happening. One of the hunters spots movement among the trees and, terrified, begins firing randomly. The problem is, the creature can vanish and no one can actually see it. In the chaos, one accidentally shoots his own friend, killing him. At the same time, Max is hit and loses consciousness, and Ashley desperately tries to revive him. Soon, the ammunition runs out. The creature appears before them and kills the last man, leaving only the leader alive. Suddenly, the creature notices Ashley and starts chasing her. She runs with all her strength, trying to hide, and finds one of the hunters hiding like her. They stay silent, but the creature appears, drags the man away, and kills him. Ashley seizes the opportunity to escape. The creature continues pursuing her and shoots an arrow into her leg. She falls to the ground, unable to move. Strangely, when it approaches her, it doesn't kill her. Instead, it goes after Max, dragging him away. Suddenly, the leader appears and attacks the creature, injuring its shoulder. The creature retaliates, killing the leader, then takes Max and Ashley to an unknown location. Meanwhile, a police officer goes to a woman who reported strange rituals performed by a tribe in a certain area. He decides to observe quietly to see what's happening. Back in the forest, Max is still unconscious when a very strange, terrifying woman appears, like a witch, with a deformed body and long claws, and takes him to her hut deep in the forest. Inside, the hut is filled with herbs, animal parts, and objects for mysterious rituals. Surprisingly, she doesn't harm him. Instead, she treats his wounds, removing the bullet and using herbs to heal him. This raises questions. Who is she? Why is she helping him? And does she have a connection to the creature hunting them? Meanwhile, Ashley is shown trapped in a strange place surrounded by numerous corpses. The leader is still alive. This is where the creature hides its victims. Around her are countless skeletons, proof that the creature has harmed many over the years. Suddenly, the creature attacks the leader, killing him brutally in front of her. But instead of killing Ashley quickly like the others, it tortures her, leaving her confused about the reason. Back with the officer,
He witnesses strange rituals for the first time, bewildered. People dressed in unusual garments dance in specific patterns and distribute a mysterious drink. At first, he refuses to drink, but eventually he has to. Soon, he begins experiencing terrifying hallucinations and sees the creature in front of him as if it's real. He feels paralyzed, unable to control his thoughts. He also witnesses a bizarre vision. A man opens the stomach of the woman in front of him and removes a large tumor to cure her cancer, yet she feels no pain. The officer realizes these are supernatural powers beyond logic. Hours later, Max wakes up to find the officer beside him. The first thing he asks about is Ashley, trying to ensure she's safe. The officer admits he never fully believed the story before, but now he has seen everything himself. The witch explains the story in detail, revealing that the creature was originally a human from ancient tribes, but after terrifying events, they transformed into monsters. No one has been able to stop them, and the officer is terrified of their power, which could threaten all of humanity. The witch informs them that Ashley has been kidnapped, and that the only way to save her is to kill the creature. She explains that the creature is injured in the shoulder, making it somewhat vulnerable, and prepares them for battle, giving the officer a weapon as a warning, because the creature can sense humans from afar. As Max and the officer leave the hut, the witch begins a loud ritual. Max disappears with her into the heart of the forest, searching for Ashley. Meanwhile, Ashley remains with the creature, trying to obey it as much as she can, but she grows exhausted and struggles to resist and escape. The creature is far stronger than her, leaving her no chance to fight or stop it. After a while, the creature hears new sounds approaching the area.
The witch continues her ritual, and Max notices someone approaching the cave to challenge him. He steps out, ready for battle. Ashley seizes the opportunity, frees herself quickly, dresses, grabs a hunter's weapon nearby, and decides to follow the creature, determined to finish it. The officer tells Max that they should each go in different directions to locate the cave faster. Soon, the officer hears terrifying sounds around him and realizes the monster is close. He prepares to defend himself, firing a shot into the air, but the creature appears and attacks, injuring him in several places. Furious, he decides to fight back and continues attacking until he is killed. Now only Max and Ashley remain. They hear gunfire and run toward the sound, shocked to find the officer's body. Following the bloodstains on the trees, they are determined to find the creature and stop it before it leaves the forest. Max fires at the creature, injuring it again, but it screams in pain and rage. He tries to convince Ashley to escape, but she refuses, insisting on staying with him. Under intense pressure, he explains the path to her and asks her to leave and wait for him, promising he will come. Suddenly, the creature appears before him, initiating a direct confrontation. Max empties his gun at it, but the creature is still alive and closes in. The battle between Max and the creature continues. Max grabs a large branch and strikes it with all his strength. At the last moment, he manages to defeat it, escaping quickly and trying to exit the forest. Meanwhile, Ashley reaches the main road, searching for anyone to help. Max, exhausted in the middle of the path, struggles to continue. Suddenly, he is struck by an arrow in the shoulder, and they realize the creature isn't alone. Many monsters have filled the forest, ready to wipe out all humans. This marks the end of today's story. And that's how we reach the end of today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the videos. And for those who want to support us, hit the like button and share with your friends. Thanks to you all, we've reached 10,000 subscribers. Your support motivates us to bring more exciting and powerful videos and summaries. Stay tuned for the upcoming videos, and peace be with you. If you want me to summarize it for you, write it in the comments. And if you want me to give you a full movie summary, just write it in the comments too. Don't forget to subscribe.